Taking the session forward, please introduce our next guest, Ms. Kalyanee Juggoo, Member of Parliament, Government of Mauritius.
Juggoo Kalyanee, Member of Parliament, Mauritius, Executive Member of the Mauritius Labour Party, ruling party. We now welcome in our midst a woman of brilliance, winner of the UNIDO Award for Innovative Business Ideas for Small Enterprises. Mrs. Juggoo Kalyanee has created women's welfare cells which work with the heads of organizations. She has introduced many such women's cells in Canada and other places. She also runs a daycare center for normal and disabled children in Gaborone, an inspiration for women and men alike across the world. We are fortunate to have with us this teacher, social worker, and leader, Mrs. Juggoo Kalyanee.
Thank you. I'll start by saying it's only by development that you can manage. Without development, there is no management. The history of the world is full of men who rose to leadership by sheer force of self-confidence, bravery, and tenacity. It's to say, this morning we heard that the word fear. When you say fear, it's no more fear. Fear has its use, but cowardice has none. That's what Mahatma Gandhi said. I wanted to start by this because when we talk of fear, this is where our problems start. I come from Mauritius, as you have just heard, and I'm here on a specific mission, maybe my mission, for a vision. It's actually to speak to you about Mauritius and its development, a bit of economy. Unfortunately, time will be a problem, but I'll try to make it short, a brief of what I can. We speak of the past, the present, and the future. The darkest moment of Mauritius was when our ancestors came from Bharat, sorry, and they came to Mauritius thinking, "Wahan jaakar sona milega." But then, unfortunately, when they came, they realized that in Mauritius, it was not for that purpose that they were coming. And they were employed as laborers. There was a lot of injustice, zillat, but still they remained and there was no oof. As you know, Mauritius is known as the Chota Bharat. I'm a product of Mauritius, a child of the coolies, ancestors from your country, India. And today I'm proud to be a coolie's child, standing here as a member of parliament, a junior minister from Mauritius. The purpose of showing the darkness of Mauritius is when, before our independence came in '68, and that's where the economy had undergone remarkable transformation after independence. From a poor country, while high employment, exporting mainly sugar, and buffeted by the vagaries of world demand, Mauritius has become relatively prosperous and diverse although not without problems. Every country has its problems, negativeness and positiveness. In the 70s, we had a lot of problems, as I said, at that time. There was strike and so forth. and this is where our Prime Minister at that time, the late father of the nation, the father of our Prime Minister, Sir Sagar Ramgoolam, declared education to be free in Mauritius. And from there, health is also free. The boom in the Mauritian workers was in the 70s, and it was fueled by increased foreign aid and exceptional sugar crops, coupled with high world prices that time. But unfortunately, in the 70s, the situation deteriorated. Petroleum prices rose, and it was all what you all know about the world and its economy. The EPZ, the Export Processing Zone, came on its own, surpassing sugar, and this is where our main pillar of economy that time was agriculture, sugar, and tourism. It was textile, the second one, tourism, and then financial services. Right now, in the present, we have the IT sector blooming, and also the offshore sector, which is from the financial sector. We also have the free port sector, which is doing very well. When we talk of sugar agriculture, we must know that Mauritius has been signatories of the African Union, has been signatory of the European Union. We are signatories of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, that's COMESA. We are signatories of the SADC, the South African Development Community. We are also signatories of the Indian Ocean Commission and signatories of the Indian Ocean Rim, which India forms part of as well. And to say where the economic boom is, I mean, after the world crisis, everybody knows what happened. In Mauritius, we survived. We can still say we are breathing. We are not like, we didn't surpass what Greece went through, what the US went through, what UK went through. In the US, people lost their jobs, as you all know, everywhere, in many countries. And there you would see people had taken loans to build their homes. And unfortunately, they couldn't pay for these loans. These were the situation that happened in big countries. And a small country like Mauritius, we must say that we still survived. Like I say, it's a dot on the map, on the world map. But then it's a very attractive country, as you all know. Exotic beauty of the Indian Ocean. When we talk of sugar, it's no more our main pillar of economy. Unfortunately, like I say, many amongst us know, I mean, in a world where you live, where there is diversification, same with Mauritius, our agricultural sector went a bit low because of the prices of sugar going high. The textile sector as well, unfortunately at one time when there was a drop of a bad crop of cotton yarn, it started decreasing and people were not too happy about it. And our investors from China, from India, didn't want to take a risk. But right now today, we are back again. I mean, our inflation rate is just the same as you, as blooming again. After the crisis, we are also coming up slowly, slowly. Today, like with the free port, I would say the main purpose of me speaking today was to say, come and invest in Mauritius. Why invest in Mauritius? Because of all the incentives that we are having from all these treaties being signed between countries. Here, I like to correct the Hindustan Times, which yesterday when I was going through, I realized that information was not correct. So I'd like to please request, when we talk of Mauritius being a duty-free country, it's not yet. This is the present. We have a duty-free export through our treaties, through COMESA, for example. Like COMESA, we have reached our 100% exports, 100% duty-free export from Mauritius to all these COMESA countries, 13, 14 countries that are there. Egypt is one of them, Malawi, Mozambique, and so forth. So I would say, like even the SADC countries for that matter, we have a treaty with South African Development Community, and this is also very attractive. It gives you a lot of incentives that you could come and invest, and especially through the free port, as I said. Once you reach Mauritius, you can register yourself as a free port licensee. Very easy to do. Next thing, you benefit. As you know, it's a tax-free for all foreigners. Secondly, you have products being brought in from wherever. A 35% value added is done. And from that 35%, you will benefit from the Mauritius origin. From the Mauritius origin, naturally, when you export, this is what I meant when I said in the various meetings we had, I have explained this, and it needs to be corrected from the papers that said Mauritius is a duty-free island. This is the future. I like it because they have the vision, and they could sense Kismet connection is there. And we are going to connect very soon as a duty-free island. But right now, as I say, you export duty-free when you benefit, when the value added is done, you benefit from the Mauritius origin, and then you can export to these countries duty-free. That makes your product cheaper naturally and more marketable in a sense. And from there as well, you can have many type of businesses open in Mauritius. For example, you have services. Somebody doesn't want to, he's a professional. He wants to come to Mauritius and invest in Mauritius. You can come and have an occupational license, meaning you are a lawyer. You are a lawyer, you can come and sell your services. You can open an office, and you can work as your profession state, a lawyer or an accountant. But then your turnover has to be at least 3 million rupees at the end of one, which is very little. So you can see it's open to many investors. Like I say, between Asia and Africa, there is that beautiful link of the Afro-Asian trade. This Afro-Asian trade, I know I'm being told to map up. We are short of time. But then I still have to tell you two lines before I end. As I say, when we come to Mauritius, the Afro-Asian link is the latest trend of business right now. There are a lot of problems, of course, everywhere. When you import, you export, you invest, in whichever sector. But then the flourishing sectors in Mauritius right now, as I say, manufacturing is still doing good. Your export, import are still, the trading sector is doing well. Your offshore sector, the financial sector is doing the best, as you all know. And also the free port sector. So I would suggest, seeing that I don't have much time to speak and explain further, I'd like to invite you all to come to our beautiful exotic beauty of the Indian Ocean, as I mentioned, to come and meet us and invest in our country, be part of us as a parivar, as we call ourselves. But then it's important. We have heard everybody talking of change. Mr. Bhargava in the morning mentioned change. Mr. Mathur mentioned change. Every speaker mentioned change. I'd like to end on this note of Mahatma Gandhi saying, be the change that you want to see. Wake up, jago. Jo soya, wo khoya. Jo jaga, wo paya. To jago log. Aap jago. सावधान आ रही है आपकी किस्मत की कनेक्शन आपकी किस्मत की कनेक्शन आपके हाथ में है आप ये मौका के फायदा ले लो take the opportunity it doesn't come every day I came for 5 minutes speech to you in this country of yours for 5 minutes I spent 2 days here to speak to you to convey my message I thank you for giving me your precious time to come and speak to you and wish you good luck. and be with us. Thank you.